Good evening. Welcome to After Dinner Pipe and Coffee. Take two. Here I've been recording for 20 minutes and never knew I ran out of storage. My iPad only has so much. Smoking my beloved. Board with some fireside, which is almost gone, so probably run another bowl since we just started again. Matter of fact, we'll do that. Pack me up another bowl. So, beautiful sunny day today. The Lord blessed us with some sunshine and another day here on this earth. Been a hard week. If you're a country music fan, Kenny Rogers passed. I think he was 81 years old. Jane Howard was famous back in the days. Patsy Cline. Excuse me while I light up. And yesterday, a man from my era of growing up on country music, Mr. Joe Diffie. From complications to coronavirus. It's been a rough week. But it's been, music and movies, and books, they can help us escape for a while from the realities of the world that we live in. The Grand Ole Opry is still running. Nobody's in the seats. That's the president's airplane running over. They do touch and goes when they're practicing, when he's not on board. Grand Ole Opry, they're in the seats. Or empty. But Vince Gill and Brad Paisley and Marty Stewart, and I don't know who's going to be this week. They're coming out and 6 feet apart. Bill Cody and Eddie Chubb are still doing the Saturday night show. And we need it. We need it. I tell you, fireside, my beloved Sven board. And I'm doing water for after dinner pipe and coffee. All I drink is water and coffee. And my challenge for the next 30 days is to do water only as my fluid. See how long that lasts. But I'll go back to coffee eventually. But it's to get into a healthier mode. And people are going to say, you don't drink from plastic bottles, they got chemicals in it. I don't care about that. You know what? I really don't care. I don't give a crap. You drink, you eat from. Never mind. And I'm also gonna walk 2 laps every day in my neighborhood. It ain't an easy neighborhood. Coming up this way. A pretty long incline. So gradual. So it makes it hard. So you get a little bit of a workout. Plus I'll get some vitamin D doing it. But I love this time of year. It's springtime. Allergies setting in. Don't love the allergies. But take medicine, over the counter stuff. Get by with it. Folks, I can tell you it was $2.95. I'm down there. So this morning, $2.42. Think about that. Since 2018 till now. Not working hard at it. Just eating right, watching what I'm doing. A lot of my clothes don't fit anymore. But I don't want to go out and buy. Well, I don't want to go out. I'm gonna shelter in place. So when we happened to be out, I bought a belt so I could tighten it down a little more. Some older shirts that used to fit again, t-shirts, so I feel great. One of the things that puts you at a higher risk, if I may get dark for a little bit on COVID-19, is if you're overweight, especially if you're overweight and you have diabetes. I can tell you before this whole thing, I was getting up close to 300 pounds. And I was probably 300 pounds at one point and just didn't know it. I had a hard time doing a lot of things. I noticed a lot of things physically. Getting up out of a chair, getting up off the floor. There's things I like to do. I just didn't feel good all the time. I was having a lot of health issues. I was seeing the doctor a lot. I was tested for sleep apnea. And then this year after surgery, we really looked at our healthy eating. And it's been very helpful. We eat whole foods. We did the Whole30. Sticking to it again for the most part. Deviate a little bit. But it's one of my favorite times of year. But I'm feeling good. I still have no strength in my arm, but I can't go to PT because they're not allowing, they're not. I guess it's non-essential. I don't know. So, um, so it'll cool out tonight. I love this time of year because it's getting ready for trout season. Trout season for me is I don't eat trout anymore. I pretty much try to catch and release. Very bony. Very bony. And I just enjoy the thrill of the hunt, So I catch and release. It just brings back a lot of memories when I was a kid. It was like Christmas time for us. this is the time of year we would get ready for trout season. Opening day was usually the second weekend in April, and we'd go down to this place downtown in Middletown it was called the Pennsylvania Outdoors Shop, and it was fishing and hunting and stuff. And Mr. Hinkle ran to own the store. He was a part-time game fish guy. And we'd get our hip boots and stuff and buy all our new supplies that we needed. If we needed new supplies, we'd buy them. And the night before, Mom would make lunch for us, and we'd get out in the morning, and Dad would put us each in a spot, There's 4 of us. 3 boys and my dad. In the dark. You couldn't start fishing until 8 o'clock on opening day. And I'd sit there and I'd shiver. Some Aprils, I tell you what, it was cold. Cold. And Dad would come by every now and then. We'd get there at least 2 hours before this, starts. We'd get our spot because a lot of guys would go fishing. How you doing? What's going on? Holding up? Yeah, Dad, I'm good. Okay. At 8 o'clock, you'd hear my dad go, okay, boys. Okay, boys. And he'd go like this. And we'd start fishing in the stream. We caught more than our fair share of trout. Many times we got our limits. So these are the kind of things I like to dwell on in times like this, Memories of childhood. I miss my dad. He's a great father. If I could have been half the father he was. Yeah, my kids love me, but I felt I didn't reach the bar my dad set. That's how I feel. With my kids. Very different set of circumstances. Divorces and stuff. I love my dad. Love my brothers and miss them. Miss my dad and miss my brothers being so close. And one in Texas, one down near Philly. And my kids like to fish. They don't like to trout fish. Those are the things that we need to dwell on. Pick up a book, put the TV down, turn the news off. Get off social media for a little while. Spend some time with your kids. If you're home and you got kids, board games. Break out some board games. Remember when we were kids? Break out some board games. I'll tell you, your kids will remember things like that. I used to get my daughters every other weekend. And faithfully, every other weekend for years, after church, we would go to Chocolate World. And we'd ride that ride at Chocolate World every time. We always did a goofy picture at the end. And then we'd let them pick out a piece of candy bar or something. And they're older now. And it's memories that their daddy made with them. My one daughter says, when are we going back to Chocolate World, Daddy? I hit you right here. So I'll listen to my Merle Haggard music, my Joe Diffie, my Mark Chestnut. My Russ Taff, my DeGarmo and Key. Many fond memories. I loved my teenage years. And my twin brother and I used to go all over the place together. We were buddies. Go to concerts all the time. Christian concerts. And we did a lot of fun stuff together. And then we come back down to earth. Unfortunately, in my opinion, America will never be the same after this. This virus, look, if people don't start heeding the warnings and the social distancing and the staying home for a while, no amount of money is worth your life or anybody else's life. It's going to get worse if we don't. So we need to get control on this, because the government will step in. It will impose martial law. If we don't, then you will see military vehicles running up and down the streets to make sure that you stay in your house. Do you want that? I don't want that. We're losing our liberties. We can't assemble as a church. Yes, we can. In the state of Pennsylvania, the governor has said that churches are exempt. As a medical person, I'm telling you, if you're smart, stream for a couple weeks. It's a couple weeks, folks. It's a couple of weeks. My mom's coming home from Texas. You know, I worry about her. She's 81. Yep. Folks, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. I've got friends out there on the front lines, my old colleagues, old EMT and paramedics, partners and colleagues and the family. The ER nurses and docs, the doctors and nurses that work the floors in the hospitals and medical fields. I got truck driving buddies that are still out there driving because we need the goods. We're putting them at risk when we don't heed what the doctors are saying. Social distancing. Stay at home. If you don't need the essentials, food, medical care, stay at home. And unless any other thing is exempt is if you have to take care of a family member. Like today. Did I want to go out and leave my home? No. I have a son with a broken neck and is recovering, and he needed help today. So I had to go help him out. But we kept our distance. And the thing that bothered me the most is he turned 27 yesterday. And every time I leave my kids, I get my hug. And I couldn't hug him today. So you go right on ahead and you hang out with your friends in large groups. But don't complain when the military has to intervene and break up, or don't complain when the police have to cite you because you're not obeying the law. Sorry, folks, it is what it is. Romans 13:1 for us Christians. Let's talk about that. Okay? Let me turn this off. Let's go to Romans 13:1. Alright? That's what Romans tells us. Every person is to be in subjection to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those which exist are established by God. Therefore, whoever resists authority has opposed the ordinance of God, and they who have opposed will receive condemnation upon themselves. Folks, they're not taking away our guns. They're not taking away our civil liberties. They're not telling us we can't go to church. They're not telling us we can't worship God. They're asking us to shelter in place, to self-quarantine. I have a grandson I haven't seen in weeks. I want to hold him. He's getting ready to start crawling. He's babbling words. And I miss him. I miss my family. I want to hug my kids. Heck, me and my wife don't even hardly touch each other. We don't even kiss each other goodnight, you know. We sleep in the same bed, but we're about 3 feet apart. We have a king-size bed. Takes a toll on everybody. I know it's hard. I know mentally it's hard. But if you're a Christian, a professing Christian, believes in the Bible, believes that the Bible is the inerrant Word of God, then you should be obedient to it. They're making a request, folks. They're not ordering us to do anything. They're not coming to take our guns. Think. Use your wisdom. This will all be over soon. You know, if more people would just stay home. Stay home. Unless you need to go get food, unless you need to seek medical attention, unless you need to go care for someone in the family that can't take care of themselves, or you need to go check on a neighbor, you know, that's one thing. Or you're an essential worker, truck driver. Thank a truck driver, would you please? They're out there. I see more trucks on the road than cars. Thank God. They're bringing us the goods and the commodities that we need to keep America moving. Medical personnel are risking their lives. Fire departments, EMS, police, nurses, doctors. Yes, it's taking a toll. Yes, it's a sacrifice. I'd rather lose money than see someone's life be lost. You cannot put a price on somebody's life. We need to use our wisdom, our common sense. And that's my rant. I mean, my wife and I are home together every day. She works from home. She's upstairs all day. I'm downstairs. We get together for lunch. We sit across the room from each other. We get together for dinner. We sit across the room from each other. You know, yesterday was church. And our church broke down into small home groups. And there was only about 6 or 8 of us at this one. And we streamed the pastor. And then I led our group in communion. It's the closest I sat to my wife was yesterday. Literally put my arm around her, held her hand. I'm willing to die for that. Just think of your fellow man. Yeah. I don't want to hear one of my friends catching the coronavirus because they were around someone that was carrying it, was asymptomatic. Didn't care enough to stay away from people. You don't know if you'll have it. I don't know if I have it. So why take that chance? They're not just going to hand out test kits right now. We don't have enough. So I beg you, I implore you, if you have kids at home and they're driving you nuts, think about it. Read something that someone had posted. My dog drives me nuts, but I love him to death. Your kids are home, and I have no doubt you don't love your children. Don't complain about it over social media. Love them, because there's no discrimination with the COVID virus. I don't care what they tell you. There are people in their 20s and 30s that are getting it and dying from it. Children with immunosuppressed systems, especially the ones that have cancer, if they get it, it's pretty much a death sentence for them. This too shall pass. God is sovereign. He is in control. But we're to use your brain. Stop being so selfish. You don't need to be out. There's no reason to be out. Go outside in your yard. Excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. I have friends that literally are glad they're home. They're getting projects done. They're spending time with their kids, their family. Well, that's about all I have to share with you tonight. So, God bless. Stay safe. Remember, God loves you and I do too. Please, 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 I beg you, please, take this coronavirus seriously. If you don't need to be out, don't go out. And I'm talking out and about in your car and going to a store. You know, if you don't need to go, don't go. Go for a walk in your neighborhood. Call a family member up. Play board games with your kids. I love you all. Have a great evening.